Welcome back to the staging area, episode 7622. We are piggybacking in a three-part series, everybody, off of episodes 4 and the aggro episode we just talked about as of like 2 seconds ago.
Which would consequently be 6.
Exactly. Whatever. So, we're going to talk about control decks. Control is a vague thing in UFS because you can control so many aspects of a game. You can control life totals. You can control foundations. You can control speed. You can control damage. You can control pace, checks. There's so much you can control that goes into the umbrella, as you will.
Margot's QB
There's no
deck,
umbrella back here. What's the word like umbrella? Umbrella of UFS. So we're going to talk about what we would like to see in like a control deck, from character to attacks to actions, foundations, what we look for. So we're going to start with character. I'm going to start with character I have a soft spot for, and that's Garrett Brett Ford. Garrett Brett Ford screams control. He controls my opponent's foundations from not readying on their turn. He also controls my hand size by +1ing on whenever an attack is played. He controls the amount of damage. So what do you guys look? I like characters who control my opponent's things. That's what control is making your decisions for your opponent. I'm making a decision for my opponent saying that foundation isn't ready on your turn. I'm also making a decision that I'm going to have one more card than you on my defense or attack turn. So, because he gets to put the card at the bottom. So, what do you guys look in a control character, Marco? This is Marco, everybody. This is his first time.
What do I look for in a control character? I mean, believe it or not, I play 2 control characters currently in the moment.
Okay.
Because I haven't fully built Pyron version 28.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The 2 characters I control, believe it or not, is actually Guile, who I played today, and QB. With QB or Guile, I actually look for what they do and how and what can you do on a spin on that. One of the things, like for example, Guile brings cards into his own card pool. One of the things I play him off is good, so I play a lot of cards that flood my opponent's card pool, because Guile can take away my own foundations from my card pool if I keep playing my attacks. So I'm controlling the amount of difficulty you're getting, and I'm downgrading my own difficulty.
Sure, you're making things easier for yourself and making it harder on your
opponent.
opponent.
I'm controlling what you can do against me.
Yeah.
And gaining bonuses off of that.
Okay.
With QB, I look for because she can.
You control the amount of attack, the types of attacks your opponents can play by shoving them into their momentum and trapping the cards there.
I can control like what attacks you want to play or what attacks you need to play. I mean, of course, she's not perfect right now, and I'm trying to work on it. But
Tyler, what kind of character? What does a character need to have? I should say, for you to play it as a control character.
It has to be able to have some type of engine to control at least one aspect of your opponent's game. My favorite character out of Blood Omen was Ulrich. Ulrich has a lot of hand control built into him, especially in his attacks. Smite makes it so you have to play +3 diffs in order to block it, and then Thunder Punch just
your Army Viper makes some discard cards.
So
you're looking. So you're playing the hand control. Like you don't want your opponent to have cards in their hand.
Right.
Which is kind of weird because in UFS you draw so many cards. It seems kind of counterproductive to discard cards in your opponent's hand, and then if you don't kill them, they draw more cards. It seems counterproductive, but if you're going to an attack turn and you're controlling your opponent's hand by how many cards they draw or how many cards they don't draw, it works out in your favor.
To me, the most guaranteed way to deal damage is your opponent can't block.
That's also true. Okay, so controlling the speed of the attack. So, okay, so that's enough of the character. So we're looking for characters that control stuff, either your opponent's hand or something on your opponent's side of the board. Correct? So that's our control character. So our attacks. When you're building a control deck, should we play as many attacks as an aggro deck, like 18 to 20?
I don't.
Well, there is another type of control deck where we play a fat deck, where we're playing like 7. Say we're playing 70+ cards. we may have to play more attacks.
Yeah, that's
because because we're playing such a fatter deck, we need to have more attacks. We see them more often. But there's also the school of thought that if you just play slower attacks, you're playing for the long game anyway, so you want to see all the foundations. But in our attacks, what are we looking for in attacks that say control, that scream, not like scream control, but what on average does an attack need to do to be in the deck? For me personally, I'm using this as an example, spinning pile driver, or SPD for short. That as a first E, where I get to control my opponent's staging area by flipping one. I can say, no, you do not have your best card. It's kind of like Dimitri.
Yeah, Dimitri the attack.
Yeah, Dimitri the attack. He goes, you don't get that card anymore. I'm going to flip it. So that's what I see. That's the epitome of a control attack.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Stun.
Stun? Okay.
Stun is a very...
Yeah, stun is because it commits your opponent's cards. Yeah. They can't use them. So
granted, it's your opponent's choice, but there are other cards that tell you to lock down something.
Yeah, that's also true. Like Garrett Brett.
Yeah.
Garrett Brett does it.
Yeah.
He's like,
or,
you don't get your best foundation.
Or Spiral Arrow.
Spiral Arrow does the same thing. Commit one for that. Yeah, exactly. Marco, what does an attack need? Does would you consider Spider Suplex a control card?
Yes.
Why?
Not only is it a throw and a reversal.
Yes.
But
so you're controlling the pace of the attacks
Yeah.
on your opponent's turn. Okay, continue.
Yeah. You're controlling their pace, but you're also making them really think, because like if it's their turn, they want to think too. Like, oh snap, does he have that spider suplex? So like,
Yeah.
it's a throw. So if it's gonna hit you, you're gonna.
Would you say the gain vitality part is that a control aspect of that card? Because you're controlling.
Yeah.
Because really, if you think about it, it's a 6 damage swing. Because your opponent's gonna take 3, regardless if they don't omni block it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're gaining 3, right? Is it 3 or 2?
It's 3.
It's 3. So it's a 6 damage swing. So you're controlling the pace that way, but on your opponent's turn as well. So you could say that even the fact that you're playing the mind games is a control aspect. The fact that you gain health on their turn, if you play it on their turn, is an aspect. It's an all around solid card.
That's all. Yeah.
So you're
Are we
on
your opponent's
are
turn,
we
yeah.
looking for reversals in a control deck? Because
I think reversals are a very good control cards.
a wise man told me that every deck should have at least one reversal. It goes out to you, Shane Duckworth. Every deck should have a reversal if it's able to.
Right.
Not every symbol has decent reversals.
Right.
Because life has a great reversal in Kersplat, but it's kind of hard sometimes. Like my DJ deck I played tonight, just didn't really fit in it.
Yeah.
It's I can't make it lethal because that's one thing about reversals. Take Navos for instance. Navos is a huge card. It murders people on their turn.
Yeah.
That's really the only reversal without outside damage pump that I could see killing someone on their turn if they're not in desperation. Most of the time, people are just gonna shrug off reversals because like it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's not gonna kill them. It's not gonna. They're not gonna, whatever.
Like a little Robert kick.
Yeah.
I look at 4
that,
damage
that
and
card.
I just
that,
go, okay.
that card's an amazing control card, anyways. But it allows you.
Draws card stat wise.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
All the other effects.
You're worried
That's
about
great.
it. But like our attacks need to be able to control some aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a throw, reversal, gains health, draws cards, commits
Breaker
cards
on block.
breaker on block, commits your opponent's cards. We're always looking for something that it controls. So that with that being said, so we're probably looking at what, like 16 to 15 to 17 attacks, depending on what the attacks are.
Yeah.
Depending on how your attack lineup is, it's usually 15 to 17. I sometimes push 18 if my deck is bigger. My Garrett Brett deck was 70 something cards. I played 19 attacks in it because it was just freaking huge. So let's move on to actions and assets. Let's go. Revoke.
Action blocks.
Revoke is the biggest control card in the game. It just is, flat out.
Yeah.
It cancels enhances. It says, well, that and out of your league because
Yeah,
it
because that cancels response.
Those two cards cancel straight out. Pulls back, so we're not hitting that table. It just cancels straight out. So with our actions and assets, are we looking for abilities that augment our attacks or do stuff like cancel stuff straight out? Could we have both in our deck and still have enough space? We are playing a control deck, so we could go up to to 8, 9 actions and assets because we're going to be playing a fatter deck.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to see our attacks early enough. Because like an aggro deck we talked about in the other video, we want to kill by turn 3 because the clock is ticking on an aggro deck. Because as the early turns is when a control deck really is weak. It's at its weakest. But after turns 3, 4, 5, 6, so on and so on,
You can grind out your
you grind out the opponent. Like Dimitri won. That was probably the greatest control deck of my UFS career, like I've ever seen. Like Garrett Brett's air decks are amazing, but Dimitri was banned because he was too controlling. Because he said no to your opponent on their best foundation every turn.
or he gained life.
Yeah, okay. He always flipped over, for the most part, except against Mature 59, you would flip over their best foundation. You were able to control, and then with take Spiders and Dragons. That card may be on the chopping block because it's just as bad as Dimitri 1. In most part. I don't think so, because I love the card. It's fantastic. But, so our foundations, take like Spiders and Dragons.
Yeah.
Would you say that is the greatest foundation currently in our meta that is the epitome of control?
Yes.
I have one better for you. Destiny's Intertwined. It's from Indines. You probably don't even know what it does. It's a 3/4 unique, +3 high block. Unique, obviously I said that again. R, commit. After your opponent plays a responsibility, commit 1 foundation on their side. Would you say that is just as good as Spiders and Dragons? Because you still get target committal, but Spiders and Dragons gets rid of that foundation, period, where you commit their best card after they play a response. Is it in the same?
I put it in the same boat.
In the same boat?
Yeah.
Maybe not as good.
They serve different purposes.
That's true. Well, they still get rid of foundations, though.
Yeah.
But one leaves it ready, the other one commits it.
Right.
So it depends what you're looking for.
One is they don't get it for that turn. The other one is they have to
Play an ability.
Yeah, they have to play an ability to get it.
That's true. Okay, I get you on that one. Marco, your opinion on foundations? What do your foundations need to do to be put into your control deck? Do they need to? It's kind of a vague question. What do you look? Actually, let me rephrase. What do you look for in control foundations for a control deck?
You'd look for anything that's going to stop out your opponent. Like, one card I think is really, really good for controlling which is Survivalist, which is controlling the amount of damage your opponent's able to put out.
Or speed.
Or speed.
Yep.
It would be an amazing control card to keep in the deck because you're controlling how much damage they're putting out. You're controlling aggro to become a late gamer.
Yeah.
Are you looking for cards
like damage reduction?
Damage
reduction
reduction
is a great control aspect.
Straight up canceling out other cards.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
You know,
Okay. Damnation.
Sealing.
The card's amazing. Sealing. Okay, so Sealing. Okay, so Hatred of Autumn may be one of the greatest cards currently. I love that card. That card is stupid good. Shout outs to Robin Scott and Devin Bernier and Kevin Broberg and Garrett Brett for playing those cards. Those cards are really good.
Yeah.
So I think that with our deck, we shouldn't really shy away from playing more cards in a deck. Like, I think my control decks usually go from like 68 to 75 cards.
Yeah.
Well, then let me just tell you, Garrett Bretford cheats his hand size like crazy, so it's fine to play like a you see, it's why you see a lot of 7-handers as control decks, because they draw so many cards, which is a really cool aspect of some 7-handers that you can, like take Pharaoh Man, you can turn him into a control deck. He is an aggro character. Not always can you turn an aggro character into a control character, because that -1 to everyone's checks, to your opponent's checks during attacks, is huge. It's like Vega. Like, look at Vega. Like, Vega stomped Saul tonight. Like, seriously, like, it was retarded. But yeah, so like Vega, like you wanna look at certain characters. You wanna make sure your foundations and attacks and your actions and your assets all control some aspect. Like, if you're going for foundation control, make sure everything kind of curtails towards that. Looking for damage reduction, make sure you have enough life gain and damage reduction on it. So, what time are we at?
14.
Sweet! We are wrapping this up. So we want to thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Leave comments down below. Subscribe because we're almost close to 300. And keep watching Staging
I
Area.
mean 100.
100, yeah, whatever. I want as many people as possible. So please subscribe.